Hey, chestnuts! Alright, today we have a special game for you. It's Fischer's worst ever tournament. Well, it's from his worst ever tournament. So he's against Bernardo Wexler, who has like a negative win rate. Oh, against masters, of course. He was still a master, but he would lose against top players. So his win rate was like 36 wins and 58 losses. And Fischer was only 17 at this time. And it was in Buenos Aires, and he had fallen for some girl there, and which is crazy because like at 16 he was like a top 6 player in the world. After getting 5th at the candidates, he was probably like up there, at the lowest top 10. And so this is actually like the only tournament failure of his career. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. Yay. C4, oh, knight to f6, knight to c3, g6, and then g3, bishop g7, bishop g2. So the English, right? This is a normal English formation, and you have this fianchetto structure. So white adopts the light squared strategy. All right, then we have castles, d3, d6, bishop to d2. Then we have knight to c6, queen to c1. You can also Fischer plays e6, right? But you can also play e5, and it doesn't block the development of his light squared bishop. So it's a bit of a strange move, but he plays e6, knight to f3, d5. So Fischer, instead of making the immediate space for his bishop, he decides to contest the center like this with this move. White castles, d4, knight to e4, knight to d7. Knight takes e4 is also possible, and then we have d takes, and then we have a5, right? So this is also possible, but Fischer opted to remaneuver his knight. Then we have b4 expanding on the queen side, right? It doesn't look like white's going to get much done in the king side, right? So might as well play on the queen side. f5. Okay, and it creates this weakness right here. And there are already a lot of holes in Fischer's position. But, alright, knight g5, targeting this weakness. Queen to e7, protecting it. b5. Knight to d8, rook b1, and then we have a5. c5 was also possible, and then if pawn takes, Fischer could develop his knight, but alright, now it wasn't played. A5, h4, protecting this knight, and maybe having ideas here later of like Alpha Zero style, right? Attacking the king. Okay, so we have e5, reinforcing the center. e3, contesting this square. D takes, bishop takes. Then we have h6, kicking away this knight. Knight to h3, then king to h7. Which is really awkward, but usually maybe in this type of structure, Fischer wanted to attack with a king, right, with these pawns, and here it might have looked safer. All right, but he can also go for this remaneuver with knight to f7. That's also possible. So king to h7, c5, knight to f6, rook to e1, and knight g4. If he plays e4, then you can't really you can't really preserve that bishop. Then knight to e6, because the knight is being attacked. So like if you maybe play this bishop back, this knight will get captured. So you would have to go for this. You would have to take this knight. All right. So knight g4. If Fischer did not play that, he played knight to g4, bishop to f4, and you can't capture because this rook will capture your queen. You don't want that to happen. Knight to f7, knight takes, knight g takes, and then we have d4. Right, there's that pin. So you can't move your knight away because your queen will get captured, and you have a really strong rook aiming at the king at this row, this pawns too. Well, yeah, like Fischer's pieces are just not as well placed, whereas white's pieces are looking okay, right? since there's play on the queen side and both bishops are aiming there. Even this knight can maybe it's threatening the king a little bit. These rooks are looking dangerous. So yeah, not such a good game for Fischer. Bishop to e6, d takes, rook a to b8. You can also play bishop to x8 a2, then rook b2, bishop to e6, bishop takes, and then we have rook to d8, right? Controlling this, and a4 is like an interesting idea where you can, since this bishop seems really integral, like to control the light squares, Fischer could try to give up this bishop in order to for some active play, but instead he's slowly getting squeezed. White's slowly getting his position up. All right, so a4, rook f to d8, queen to e3, and it's not like a super complicated game either. Like Fischer was the master of simple positions, but here he's just getting really positionally squeezed. Bishop to c4, bishop to f8. Black is almost in zigzag here actually. So let's see if, yeah, bishop to f8, rook bc1, and then yeah, I just keep moving back, queen to c3. There's just too much power on the queen side at the moment. The bishop to c4, Fischer attempts to free his bishop from confinement. b6, rook to d3, and then going for this move, maybe for some active play here. Queen to c1, bishop back to e6, b takes, queen takes, rook to b6, now aiming here. Bishop to d5, e6, uh-oh, now this pawn's looking super dangerous. There's nothing standing, well, there's some pieces, but yeah, it's looking super dangerous. Knight to e5, rook to d6, and now these two pieces are attacking these, right? And then this rook blocks the queen from defending it, so not looking good. Bishop takes, rook takes, and then bishop takes h3. So it looks like you're gaining a piece for a second, but then we have bishop takes, and now here, like, so if Fischer just takes this, then he's just slowly going to lose to this push, right? So he tries to go for the Hail Mary play. It's like he's gonna lose his game. So he tries to go for this Hail Mary play attacking, but white blocks that. So this rook, right, is the one defending this pawn. So Fischer tries to deflect the rook with this rook, but it's just desperation at this point. There's no way Fischer can get at the king, right? And then all right, let's see what do you think white plays next here? What do you think white plays next? How would you try to win the game? Give you a few seconds. All right. Queen to d2. You're just gonna try to protect this, right? This row. Okay, this rook is doing some good things here, so it might be good to keep it around there. But you need to defend against his mate. So bishop takes. Last Hail Mary play. Attacking here, but queen to f2, and just Fischer just resigns. Difficult to stop this pawn from advancing. There's no mate here, right? If queen takes, then queen takes, and then you can't stop this. It's 2 rooks versus 2 bishops. I think the 2 rooks will win. Right? So let's see if let's see what happened if rook took this bishop. Queen can just take this, and then eventually there are no more checks, right? White can't go here, black can't go there. And yeah, Fischer's just straight up lost here. So yeah, after this tournament, it's only Fischer's only failure, right? Because he was just so dominant throughout, even when he was 16. So after this, he said he'd never mix girls in chess ever again. So, and he kept that promise apparently. So that's good. I mean, we got some crazy streaks out of it, like 20-0, 6-0. So Fischer just dedicating his life to chess for the good of chess until he went crazy. Okay. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button like a clock, hit the like button like a clock, and hit the notification bell like a clock so you can see this cuddly face again. Alrighty. Peace, chess players.